Hello everybody and welcome back to Random Vids. So I decided, since we now have a brand new Mario Kart that's out, I decided to redo the video of me ranking all the Mario Kart games that I have. Also, when I did that one, that was what, like 2.5 years ago, I forgot to add Mario Kart Tour to the list. At least I think I did. Yeah, I don't think I added Mario Kart Tour to the list, so this video will kind of be an update to that video of me ranking every single Mario Kart game that I've played. Speaking of which, let's eliminate the games I've not played, or the ones that aren't gonna, qualify. Say goodbye to all the arcade ones. I mean, what's the point of that? No Super Mario Kart, no Mario Kart Super Circuit, and no Mario Kart 64. With that, all the other Mario Karts are fine to use. And I think I finally was able to determine what Mario Kart I liked better between Mario Kart World and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because of the fact that World has been out now for more than just a day or a week. So after almost a month now with Mario Kart World, I finally thought of what game is my favorite between the two. So with that, let's get to my absolute least favorite Mario Kart game that I have, and that is Mario Kart Tour. I mean, no surprise here that this is the worst one. I mean, it's a phone game, it's not necessarily, it hardly even counts as a game, it's more just a spin-off. And that's honestly what it is. Mario Kart Tour, the few months that I had Mario Kart Tour, was definitely interesting. I remember getting Mario Kart Tour back in July of 2023, and ended up deleting it around, I want to say, about September, late September, maybe even October of 2023. Because of the fact that at that point, most of the tracks that I was curious on were now out in the Booster Course Pass. I don't know. It was just an okay game. Now, for a game that I've heard a lot of negative things about, it honestly wasn't half bad. It does play like Mario Kart. It does feel a little weird, though, and a little janky compared to, normal Mario Kart that we're used to. But, overall, I think that, it's a game that runs fine. But it's not gonna feel like your normal traditional Mario Kart. Now, one thing that I do like about this Mario Kart is the fact that there is tons of characters, tons of tracks, and of course, mission mode. This game has mission mode. And although a lot of retro tracks did come back, and some of them do look a lot better, I mean, some of the others look just okay. I'm mainly talking about some of the graphics. The graphics definitely aren't the greatest. It's basically a big downgrade to Mario Kart 8, in a way. It looks nicer than some of the other Mario Kart games, of course, but at the same time, I don't know, it just looks kind of ugly compared to some of the newer ones. And honestly, this game doesn't really stand a chance against all the other Mario Kart games anyway, because they're all console games, or just, mainline Mario games, or this is mainly just a spin-off. It's one of those games that Nintendo decided to add to kind of fill the time, so we wouldn't be asking for a new Mario Kart game. So, here you go. Here's Mario Kart Tour for you. I know there's something I really don't like about this Mario Kart, but I just can't put my finger on what. I think my main thing about this game is the fact that you have to play a certain amount of tracks in 2 weeks. There's not a lot of options. Even though there's a lot of tracks in the game, you can only play a certain amount of them in that, in that time span that the, I guess, quote-unquote, update is. Because every, I'd say, like 2 weeks, a little over, they'd have some sort of update to kind of, give either more tracks or just different tracks or whatever. I remember playing tracks like Paris Promenade all the time, and it really got that course kind of soured for me, in my opinion. And the fact that it's not really the most fun course to begin with, in this game it's even worse than Mario Kart 8. And that's the thing, they don't really give you much variety at all. There is a lot of cups, but a lot of the cups have too many repeating tracks. Like, they should have just used all the tracks instead of all these random whatever. Another thing that kind of bothered me is you can't get this game if you want to. You have to have a Nintendo account, which I think is just kind of dumb. Now, I haven't downloaded this game since 2023, so I don't know how it's going now. Obviously, they're not giving it any more updates. It's just kind of going through the same last year, 2023, I guess. So, okay, there's that. Personally, it's playable. It's a fine enough Mario Kart. but it's nothing that I'm gonna want to go back to or play ever again. I mean, hey, they even tried to do battle mode, and it works fine. But once again, this is a spin-off game, so of course this is going to be expected to be the worst game out of them all. But even with that, this isn't even necessarily a bad game. Like, comparing this to like the absolute worst Mario Party games, or even 2D, even 3D Mario games, like they do overall a pretty good job with Mario Kart, even with some of the worser options. So with that, let's move to number 7, which is Mario Kart Double Dash. Came out on the Nintendo GameCube in 2003, a year before I was born, which is funny. Anyway, good old Mario Kart Double Dash. I remember getting this for the first time on the GameCube and just finding it lots of fun at first, until I really started playing it more seriously to try to unlock everything. Then it all went downhill. But before we talk about the negatives about the game, let's talk about the positives. Obviously, this game looks way better than the previous Mario Kart games we got before this. And, man, just all the effort they put into the tracks and stuff, for the most part, is really fun. And, oh man, I haven't even talked about the 2 people riding together in one kart thing. This is just such a cool experience and fun thing. It'd be neat seeing it return again in a future Mario Kart. And each character got their own special item that they could use, which I thought was, really cool. And it is really cool. Like, what other Mario game lets you do this? Now, some of them have returned in Mario Kart Tour, which is cool, but Mario Kart Double Dash obviously is the OG game that these items are in. So, I mean, it's cool and all. And the main reason why this game is better than Mario Kart Tour is because of the fact that, it's an actual Mario Kart game. It's not just a silly spin-off, and, it actually plays like a Mario Kart game. One of the biggest things I have about Mario Kart Double Dash is the difficulty. Now, yeah, a lot of the Mario Kart games, especially the older ones, were definitely a lot harder than a lot of the newer ones, which I guess kind of doesn't really make any sense. I don't know why the Mario Kart games were this hard. I know there was a thing called rubber banding back in the N64 era and stuff, but Jeebus, it's like, how hard do these things need to be? Like, it's not really fun replaying a cup over and over again, and that was the thing. I kept having to replay a cup over and over again. I bet you can't guess which one that is. Special Cup. I really do not like the Special Cup in this Mario Kart, and honestly, that experience kind of haunted me for the rest of my life. And honestly, the track selection isn't even that great to begin with in the Special Cup. You start off with Warriors Coliseum, which is in desperate need of an update because of the fact that it's been stuck on the GameCube ever since. It's not really the most amazing track anyway. Down Down Jungle, which is easily the worst version of Down Jungle out of the 3, even 4 versions if you count Tour. It's just such a hard version. And then Bowser Castle, which is probably the best track in the Special Cup, because, it's Bowser Castle, it's cool and all. And then Rainbow Road, which is a kind of ridiculously hard Rainbow Road, in my opinion, where the vehicles are really big in this Mario Kart, but the Rainbow Road thing is super small. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Special Cup at all in this Mario Kart. Now, I do like All Cup Tour, and I think that's really cool. But other minor things that I don't really necessarily like about this Mario Kart is, well, okay, the courses aren't the greatest either. I'd say ever since Mario Kart Wii, we've had really, really good, courses. But before then, a lot of them are very hit or miss. And GameCube is no exception. A lot of the courses are definitely very below average. Heck, even some of my favorite courses in this game are some of more of my least favorite ones when they return. Not all the time, but some of them are, just because of the fact that, some of them are just either so bland, boring, or I don't know. I'm just also used to more modern Mario Kart compared to this one. Other minor things is like you can't hold items behind you, you can't jump. There's a bunch of random shortcuts in this game, which actually are kind of fun, but just looking at this Peach Beach footage, it's like, goodness. Another thing I didn't like about this game is battle mode. Now, I do like the courses and the fact that, it actually plays like battle mode, but the fact that you have to have other people play with you can't play with computers, which is even worse than like Wii 7 or 8 Deluxe's battle mode, because at least then you can play with computers. But those are basically the main problems I have about Mario Kart Double Dash. So in my opinion, it's probably the worst out of the console ones I've played, but I think the main thing is just because of the fact that it's, for one, very different compared to the other Mario Kart games, and number two, it's just very hard. Now, just recently I did like unlock all the stuff, and I unlocked the other battle track and stuff. But man, it took a long time to do that, and honestly, it's more frustrating than fun. And I want to play Mario Kart to have fun, not to get frustrated in all the time. Failing at a cup every once in a while, that's fine, but failing at it basically every single time you play, hitting that restart button, is no fun. Now, that's in no way me saying Double Dash is not fun. I do like Mario Kart Double Dash, and I think it is a great Mario Kart game, but I just think there's other Mario Kart games that are better. With that, let's move on to number 6, which is Mario Kart 7. I remember getting Mario Kart 7 a few months before I got Mario Kart Double Dash, and boy, what the jump that was. Now, although I feel like a lot of people would disagree with me and put Double Dash above Mario Kart 7, which that's totally fine, I just think I had a better experience with Mario Kart 7 over Double Dash, and I think the main reason is the difficulty. This game definitely isn't quite as annoying to beat as Double Dash is, which that's good. Now, although I will say this is definitely one of the most forgettable Mario Kart games, because it doesn't really do much to really stand out. Now, this is the first game to have the gliders as well as driving underwater, so that's cool and all. But I feel like a lot of the other Mario Karts, stand out a little more in a fun way, where this Mario Kart just more kind of exists, which ain't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, Mario Kart Tour basically just exists too, but this game obviously is much better than Mario Kart Tour, because it's an actual Mario Kart game. Now, one thing that I really love about this Mario Kart, besides the soundtrack of course, is the different tracks. The tracks in this Mario Kart are really good. Whether that's the Nitro tracks or Retro tracks, they did a really great job with the track selection. And after that, that's when we start getting a lot of problems. This is the first Mario Kart game. Well, I shouldn't say this is the first Mario Kart game, but in this Mario Kart game, we downgrade back down to 8 characters, which is just, I don't know why they did that. And, there's a lot of other weird things in this Mario Kart game. Like, for example, Battle Mode. Battle Mode is very weird. Also, look at the character roster, which is definitely below average than a lot of the other character rosters. But yeah, Battle Mode. I don't really know what is Battle Mode in this Mario Kart. Well, we have Battle Balloon and we have Coin Runners, but it ended up taking out Versus Mode, which was very weird. This is one of the only Mario Karts that don't have Versus Mode. Okay, that's probably one of the biggest negative things about this Mario Kart is the fact that they don't have a lot of fun. This Mario Kart doesn't have a lot of great side modes at all. Battle Mode is kind of ruined in a way. There's only 6 tracks. I mean, 3 are Nitro, 3 are Retro, which that's fine. But you always are doing 4, which is weird. I don't know. It's just a very weird battle. I feel like Battle Mode just went downhill from DS all the way to Mario Kart 8. Then it went uphill finally again in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And then, alright. Basically, I don't think there's nothing really else I have to say about Mario Kart 7. It's a fine enough game. I just think there's better Mario Kart games out there. It has a really great main mode, but the side mode is definitely lacking, that's for sure. Besides, once again, it doesn't have mission mode. That's an automatic minus. But hey, it's a fine enough game. I just think there's better games out there. So with that, let's move on to number 5, which is Mario Kart DS. Now, 2 of the biggest downgrades to this game opposed to Mario Kart 7 is number 1, obviously, the graphics. This game is kind of an ugly game now at this point. The other thing is the track selections itself. The tracks, once again, like I said, this is a game before Mario Kart Wii, and the games before Mario Kart Wii had kind of weak track selections, not gonna lie. Mario Kart DS is no exception. Just look at the Mushroom Cup, Figure 8 Circuit, Yoshi Falls, blah. Cheap Cheap Beach, blah. Luigi Mansion is fun though. Then there's a few other just meh ones like Shroom Ridge, Worcester Mushroom Bridge, or Rainbow Road, which just is fine, and a few other just fine courses here and there. And this is the game that spawned the most overrated Mario Kart track of all time. We know which one we're talking about. Waluigi Stadium, or Waluigi Pinball. I don't know why that track has to be so overrated, but okay. That's the thing. I think the main mode itself is probably worse in this game than it is in Mario Kart 7. However, this game actually has a lot of great side modes. Like, for example, it has mission mode. What? Mission mode. You can do missions while playing a Mario Kart game. That's so cool and creative. Also, the fact this is the first game to ever introduce retro tracks. Once again, the retro tracks are very below average, most of them are, because the fact that either A, they're very overrated, or B, they're downgrades, or C, they're just boring. But hey, it's cool they have them in the game. So there's that. The character roster ain't anything too special. It's just, what, 12 characters? Okay, cool. This game also has a really, really good battle mode. Now, 7 of the 8 courses, of course, are lots of fun. Sorry, sorry, not 8. 6 courses are lots of fun. All of them except for Tart Top. We do not like Tart Top. But battle mode is actually really fun. You can play with computers, and if you're eliminated, you know you're eliminated. You don't come back. A lot of other minor fun things in this game, like you can customize your own emblem. I guess you can snake if you really like that. Personally, I don't mind the snaking. I just think that the people who are really good at it, like, there should be two different type of people, or 2 different type of brackets. One can be people who don't necessarily play DS all the time and just play it for nostalgia. The others are the ones who are really, really good at Mario Kart DS and who want to snake all they want. There you go. I don't know. I just think snaking's a little broken in this game, which it's a fun thing and all, but the more I play it, especially with people who do snake, the more it just it makes me realize, okay, I can see why they took that out in Mario Kart Wii now. Make it fair to the players, like, come on. Nothing really else to this Mario Kart. This is the very first, not even Mario Kart, but this is the very first Mario game I ever got too, which is really cool. So it definitely holds a lot of nostalgia to me. Even if this isn't my favorite Mario Kart, it probably is the most nostalgic, and it can be fun. Although I feel like this game is kind of the opposite of Mario Kart 7. The main mode is just fine, where the side modes are really cool. But they should have a good balance. That's the thing. This game doesn't really have a good balance. But overall, it's a fun Mario Kart game to play every once in a while. With that, let's get to number 4, which is Mario Kart 8. Oh man, good old Mario Kart 8. I feel like if Mario Kart 8 Deluxe didn't exist, this game would probably be like number 3 or 2, not number 4. But thanks for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe version, I can safely say the Wii U version is kind of one of those things that is kind of forgotten at this point. I don't know anyone who's played in the Wii U version when you have the Switch version. Now, this game, for starters, looks really, really good. And the main mode itself is really great. Like, the track selection is just amazing. The Nitro tracks are just as fun as ever. And boy, those retro tracks, they really did an amazing job with those retro tracks. Revamping them, they just look amazing now. And I'm glad they brought back the underwater and gliding, as well as adding anti-gravity. All 3 of those together are tons of fun. Also, the bikes and 12 players have all returned. And yes, for those people who love this certain character, Waluigi also returned. So there you go. Another thing that's way more important than Waluigi is the fact that they brought back Versus mode, so that's cool and all. And the fact that you can choose as many battle tracks as you want. We'll talk about that one a little later. But that's the thing, Mario Kart 8 has a really, really good main mode. Well, what about the side modes? Still no mission mode, which is a minus. Now, I will say the roster is okay. It's not the greatest roster I've ever seen, but at least we got some characters who, weren't in Mario Kart 7. Toadette, the returning of Waluigi. We got the baby characters again, Rosalina, like all your usual, fun Mario characters. But a lot of the new ones they added in Mario Kart 8, minus the Koopalings, were very, below average characters. Baby Rosalina felt a little too much, and then you had Metal Mario and Pink Gold Peach, plus all the other clones that they would later end up adding. Okay, and this was before we had all these other characters like Diddy Kong, Birdo, Bowser Jr., whatever. So the brand new characters they had in this Mario Kart game was very bad, honestly, aside from the Koopalings. The Koopalings were a great addition. But at the same time, it's like, I love the Koopalings, and I'm glad they're in this Mario Kart, but also let's add some of the other great characters, too. So that was one of the minuses. But, of course, we know what the big minus is about Mario Kart 8. What on earth were they doing with battle mode? Personally, I didn't mind it at the time because this was the 3rd Mario Kart game I ever got. And I was, 10 years old at the time, so playing battle mode on just tracks, I thought was kind of cool. which, okay, it was definitely different, that's for sure, playing on just, you know, racetracks. But the more I think about it and the more older I get, the more I realize how just horrible of an idea that was. Also, the fact there was only battle balloons, so there was only one mode to choose, and driving on the tracks, it just doesn't work at all. Like, I can understand why people didn't like battle mode at all. Thank God Mario Kart 8 Deluxe fixed this. And although I think Mario Kart 8 is a really, really great game, we have the deluxe version now, so there's no need to pick this one up anymore. I will say it's better than 7 and DS, that's for sure, and of course Double Dash and Tour. But I just think there's 3 other Mario Kart games that are a bit better than this one. Speaking of which, let's get to number 3, which is Mario Kart Wii. Oh man, this Mario Kart is honestly a lot more fun than I first, I guess, realized when playing. I feel like the more I play Mario Kart Wii, the more I have it, the more time that goes on, the more I appreciate Mario Kart Wii in a way. Now, this is definitely not my favorite Mario Kart, but I can appreciate what Mario Kart Wii did. Unlike 7 and, unfortunately, even 8, the original 8, not 8 Deluxe, this game actually tried to do some fun things to this Mario Kart to kind of spruce it up. Yeah, there's no mission mode, which is already a minus, but man, look at the Nitro tracks. This is the first Mario Kart game that I'd say has a really, really good selection of tracks. So the main mode is already really cool. And because this is the Wii, tricking is basically the, main thing. Speaking of which, this is the first game that added half pipes, which only returned in Tour and 8 Deluxe. Other than that, no other Mario Kart game has it. And yeah, we do have retro tracks, and they're still not the greatest thing ever, but they're definitely better than, the handful we got in Mario Kart DS. And look at the character roster. This has got to be, until Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the best character roster out of any Mario Kart game. It's just so cool. Okay, until Mario Kart Tour 2, but like I said, that's a spin-off, we don't count. Moving on, let's take a look at Battle Mode, shall we? Battle Mode is very hit or miss sometimes. Well, maybe not hit or miss. I usually have fun with Battle Mode, but it can get a little iffy at times, and unfortunately they didn't quite follow how Mario Kart DS's Battle Mode went. So now when you get out, you respawn back, which is very weird. Also, you're forced to do team battle every time. You can't choose just a standard one, which is really weird. But this Mario Kart game also has 10 battle tracks. Count them, 10! Which means 5 of them are brand new tracks, and 5 of them are retro. And the brand new tracks that we got were really good. Well, for the most part. Minus Chomp Wheel. But the others are really good. And it's nice seeing at least one battle course from each of the retro Mario Karts come back as well. Even if, the ones like Battle Course 4 from the SNES or Battle Course 3 from the GBA aren't the greatest, it's still nice seeing them get remade. The music, obviously, is really good as well. Although, obviously, once you get out, you respawn back in. But at least I'm still having a lot of fun with Battle Mode. And that was basically the only main minus about it. And yeah, they at least have coin runners too, so there's at least more than just one mode. And honestly, that's really much all I have to say about Mario Kart Wii. I think it's a really great Mario Kart. It's a game that I definitely pick up a lot of times. Another thing I really like about this Mario Kart is the soundtrack. This game has a really, really good soundtrack. It has so many iconic tracks, and most of them have now been remade. I think there's only 4 remaining now that have never been remade yet. So, hey, maybe we'll get more in either World DLC or the next Mario Kart, who knows. But Mario Kart Wii is definitely a really, really fun Mario Kart with some really great things to kind of, make it stand out opposed to the others. It ain't perfect. There's a few definitely minuses about it. Look at the thundercloud, but, it's a really fun Mario Kart game overall, so I'll give it 3rd place. Alrighty guys, which one is my favorite Mario Kart? Is it Mario Kart World or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Well, before we talk about my favorite Mario Kart, let's talk about my second favorite Mario Kart, which is Mario Kart World. Alrighty. So, I feel like this is a very big controversial pick. Which Mario Kart is the better one? And I really do like Mario Kart World. And it's so nice seeing a brand new Mario Kart after, so many years. I mean, whether if you choose the 11 years from Mario Kart 8 or 8 years since Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Whatever one you choose, it's nice seeing just a brand new Mario Kart. Before we talk about the negatives about this game, let's talk about the positives, or things that it does better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. For starters, the graphics are just amazing in this Mario Kart. Like, they look better in this game than in any other Mario Kart. It looks so good in 4K. Another thing is the vehicle selection. I don't know why, I just really like the vehicle selection in this Mario Kart. Even if you can't choose the tires and the gliders anymore, I mean, the vehicle selection is really, really good. Another thing that's pretty good about this Mario Kart is the character roster. Now, I'm not going to say the character roster is amazing or the best, because it isn't, but I will say that at least it ain't bad either. Like, it doesn't make me necessarily horribly miss the characters that got cut out of the gate. Like, some of the characters that I've been wanting for a while, like Hammer Bro mainly, Nabbit, and they have some really goofy characters too, like a snowman, or a Conch-Door, a Monty Mole, finally a Goomba as a playable character, a cow, sure, why not? I mean, as long as I include all the other Mario characters that we know and love, then that's fine. Oh, let's talk about that in a second. Another thing that I really like about this Mario Kart is all the brand new side things. Remember how I just talked about how the main game has been so good for so long? Which, that's cool and all, but now we finally have a lot of fun side modes. Like free roam, which is really cool, and it's fun doing the free roam. And in the free roam, they finally added mission mode. Finally, after all these years, we got mission mode back. Unfortunately, though, I still don't think it's as good as the Mario Kart DS mission mode. I wish it was laid out a little more like that. But hey, it's mission mode. It came back. Also, we got Knockout Tour, which is a side mode that I've been predicting actually for Mario Kart World, which is really cool. And this basically is like an elimination mode where get to the finish line in a certain placement or else you'll get eliminated. It's really cool, and I really love this mode a lot. So it does have a lot of fun mode. They didn't get rid of versus mode, thank God for that. Another thing that I really like is its nitro tracks. This game has a really good selection of nitro tracks, like the DK Spaceport, and obviously the usual Bowser Castle, and and of course Rainbow Road. Oh, this Rainbow Road is so good. Next to Mario Kart Wii, it has to be one of my favorite Rainbow Roads for sure. The music alone is just so breathtaking. Now let's get to some of the negatives about the game. Let's go back to the character roster. Yeah, we have these cool characters and all, but we're also missing a lot of characters. Like, what happened to the Mii characters? I know it's not the Wii anymore, Nintendo wants to forget that the Mii's ever existed, but come on, they've been in Mario Kart ever since Mario Kart Wii. Like, that should be a gimme from the start. And also, where the heck is the Koopalings? I really enjoyed them in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, so why aren't they here in this one? But of course, the biggest character we're missing is Diddy Kong. Why didn't they include Diddy Kong? Oh, because his name. Are you kidding me? Come on, Nintendo. Diddy Kong is your own creation character, so I don't understand why he's not in this Mario Kart. I understand, but I just think the reason is stupid as heck. You wasted all that time to not add Diddy Kong in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Finally add him, and now he's not in this brand new Mario Kart. It just feels like wasted potential. And there's a few other characters that are missing too. Like Kamek got downgraded to an item, which is just wonderful. And the people who like Pity Piranha, he's not in this game either, so there's that. But that's not my main thing. One of the things I really hate about this Mario Kart is battle mode. Now, even though when I was young I didn't mind the Mario Kart 8 battle mode, but man, this just feels like such a big downgrade to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. For starters, all the battle tracks are at best playable and at worst horrible. Like, they literally took what people hated from Mario Kart 8 and just made those battle tracks again. Why are we driving around Mario Bros. Circuit or Peach Stadium? And why did they have Moo Moo Meadows be a battle track again? Moo Moo Meadows was a battle track in Mario Kart 8! Oh my gosh, Nintendo, how stupid could you be? Oh, sorry, you can drive through the middle of Moo Moo Meadows. That's different. Well, no, it's no fun driving through the grassy section because you go slow. The only battle track that's actually fun is Dino Dino Jungle, because the fact that one actually feels more like a battle track than the other ones. All the other battle tracks just feel way too big. There's no retro ones either besides Big Donut. We got Big Donut and Mario Kart 7, so why haven't we seen any other, ones that have returned? And
then there's the desert one or whatever. It's just basically a mix of Chomp Wheel and Thwomp Desert. That's this such wasted potential. They could have done away with, having brung back a Mario Kart Wii track, but no, instead we do this. It's just extremely lazy. You can tell this is the last thing that Nintendo was worried about for this game, was battle mode. Another big problem is that all the battle tracks are found in the game itself. So once again, this is just back to Mario Kart 8, where you can drive on the battle tracks in the Grand Prix. And that leads to my other biggest problem about Mario Kart World, the open worldness. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love the free roam. It's a lot of fun. But at the same time, it kind of ruins some of the tracks. And look at these retro tracks, honestly. They're very just okay. Like, we got a total of 4 of them that have never come back before, and the rest have come back before, which just seems really odd. And don't get me started on the ones that came back in Mario Kart 8 and they brung back in this one. We don't need to see tracks like Moo Moo Meadows and Sky High Sundae again. They returned in Mario Kart 8. Why are we seeing them again? And then there's Shoko Mountain. What the heck did they do to that track? It's not even a mountain anymore. It's a stadium. And it wasn't necessarily the most fun track to begin with. Honestly, the retro track selection is definitely a downgrade compared to Mario Kart 8. Well, even if you don't include the booster course, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxes, and even Mario Kart 8's retro track selection is just miles better than this. Man, I can't believe what they did to the retro tracks. It's just, I was so disappointed when I saw DK Pass the first times, realizing that we were going to get tracks that have come back before. I don't know. I just think it's a very poor decision by Nintendo. Now, yeah, we might get, knowing Nintendo will probably get some sort of DLC to maybe add more retro tracks, ones that have never come back before, but it just seems like a gimme from the start. You make us wait 11 years for this brand new Mario Kart just to bring back tracks that have already come back? Like, it just feels so stupid. Like, come on, Nintendo. Now, okay, next, now, that's not me saying all the retro tracks are bad, but I just think that they could have done a way, way better job at the retro track selection. Also, there's only 30 tracks, not 32, 30, because you drive on Crown City and Peach Stadium twice, which is just very random. And I think the open worldness kind of kills the Mario Kart in a way. Not really, but okay. Here's the thing. The open worldness doesn't necessarily kill the Mario Kart. I just think it's the intermissions. The fact that Nintendo won't let you choose in a Grand Prix whether if you want to, race on a standard track or do the intermissions, I think basically tells me which game I like better. Every game up to even Mario Kart Tour lets you drive traditionally on a Mario Kart track. This is the only game that you have to have the intermissions. And there's no way to turn the intermissions off, which is just so weird. And yes, I'm aware of the recent update Nintendo did where the random tracks people do online are no longer, for the most part, going to be, non-intermissions. They're just going to be intermissions at this point. Which, that honestly really kills Mario Kart in a way. Mario Kart is one of those games that it's a great game to pick up and go. But when you butcher tracks in a way, or just make them boring, it just feels very just like, why am I wasting $80 on this game when I can just go back to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? The fact that they don't give you an option, and the fact that Nintendo went on to downgrade, just speaks volumes to how, how they feel about Nintendo fans. I just think it's utterly ridiculous. Even though I don't play the online, I don't care much about the online, it's just the fact that Nintendo downgraded this game. I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, there's the death of Mario Kart World, or oh, we're going to switch back to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I personally don't blame them. Nintendo is really embarrassing themselves. They're really making a fool out of this brand new Mario Kart game that we've waited 11 years for. I think that's another thing that's just so ridiculous. We waited 11 years for this brand new Mario Kart, and the fact that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe gave us such high expectation, it's like, I feel like they try to change way too much about this Mario Kart. There's always going to be that one person, though, that's going to roll their eyes and say, well, I'm getting tired of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And okay, that's fine. There's no problem with them making a brand new Mario Kart and even making it different than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But the problem is they're not really treating Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with a lot of respect at all. They're pretending Mario Kart 8 Deluxe never really existed. They didn't do any use anything from the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Battle Mode. They just butchered it. They didn't even add a retro track for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is just a shame. And I don't know. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is their most sold Mario Kart game. I feel like they should just be... I feel like they should, you know, even if this game isn't like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they should treat it with a little bit more respect, if you know what I mean. It's their most sold Mario Kart game. It's the one everyone loves. So it's like, why kind of butcher it in a way? So I can completely understand why people are going back to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe after this, because that is just utterly ridiculous. Like, come on, Nintendo. That's just like... It's just so stupid of them to do that. Like, what, you don't want people to have fun? Is that the whole thing? Alright, well, let's move on, because I could rant about a lot of problems with this game all day long, and that's the thing. I think the main thing is that because we've waited 11 years, I feel like everyone's expectations were really high. And this game, I mean, there was some things that definitely were like, okay, cool, but at the same time, I just feel like Nintendo could have done a way better job with this Mario Kart. Now, yeah, this is before any DLC and stuff, but I think from the recent thing that they did last week, pretty much determined which game I liked better. And I know a lot of my friends who said that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was better too. So with that, Mario Kart World, I think it's a great game. I just think that they definitely need to improve this game a lot more too, because the way it is right now is good, but it's definitely not better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Even if you think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is so old and tired, like, yes, I understand. We've had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for a while, but instead of thinking of it like that, why don't you think of it this way? What game is more playable? Like, what game has more content? Yeah, this game has free mode, knockout tour and all, but what are you going to do once those are done? Battle mode sucks, and there's only 30 tracks to race on. So, and you can't even race on Rainbow Road in the free roam. So, until they add DLC, this has to be second worst. And if they continue butchering this game, I'm sorry, but Wii is going to be better than this game. Alright, let's move on to my favorite game, which is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Of course, this game is just wonderful. I haven't played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in a while, actually. In fact, I haven't played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe since I got Mario Kart World. But man, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is such a great game. Basically, it fixed every single problem that the original Mario Kart 8 had. Like the battle mode, for example. They actually went in and fixed it. Gave us 8 actual battle tracks. Gave us more than just one mode. And, you know, it's lots of fun now. And in fact, in my opinion, it's my second favorite battle mode. And they gave us more tracks to race on. 32 isn't enough? Well, why don't we give you a whopping 48? And I know I'm talking mainly about the Wii U updates. Well, okay, Battle Mode was a Switch update, because Wii U updated the game, and then Switch, of course, updated the game too. What, you don't like the brand new characters we added? Well, okay, we're sorry. Here's Bowser Jr., Dry Bones Boo. Here's Dry Bowser, some more random non-Mario characters, and here you go. And then wait a few more years, we'll release the booster course. So, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was almost kind of like the sorry for all the things that they did wrong with Mario Kart 8. Which I'm glad they did this, because now we had a much better roster, an actual good battle mode, and more tracks. Plus we got the Boo item back, and the Feather, which was really cool. So there was a lot of really cool things with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And then we got the Booster Course, which released 48 more tracks, putting it all up to 96 tracks, which is just crazy. Yeah, we all know, Mario Kart Tour was a game that was going down. So what should we do with the city tracks that, you know, we don't get to play all the time and look kind of ugly in Mario Kart Tour? Well, let's just add them in this game. And I think that was a perfect way to do that. Unfortunately, we didn't get the one Piranha Plant Pipeline. I personally think we should have gotten it. And if not, we should have at least gotten it in Mario Kart World if they weren't going to add it in this Mario Kart. But whatever. At least we got all the other tracks. And along that, we got things like the customizable item thing. Then we got more characters that were missing. You see, these type of updates are Nintendo treating Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with respect. It is the most sold game Nintendo ever had, or has ever made, and it shows. They did a really, really good job with this Mario Kart. Now, once again, there's going to be those people that are going to say, ugh, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe again. We've had this game for so long, we're so tired of it. Boo-hoo. And yeah, I understand we've had this game for a while, but don't think of it as a game that we've had a while and you've been playing for a while. just think of how good the game actually is. And I feel like with Mario Kart World out and how that game is more of a butchered Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I feel like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is going to be a game that's going to be more appreciated as time goes on. The people who weren't really the biggest fans of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or even got tired of it will realize, I think, how great of a game this game, actually is. They did do a lot to this game to improve it from Mario Kart 7 and all the other Mario Karts. Now, yeah, the Booster Course Pass graphics aren't the best, but I'd take a Booster Course Pass any day over them butchering something like Battle Mode or whatever they were doing with Mario Kart World. because these updates actually showed that they cared about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They gave a lot of thought and heart into this Mario Kart, and that's what I really love about it. They didn't butcher anything with any of the updates. No, the updates they did were really good. And I'm glad this game did get a lot of updates, because it went from just an okay game on the Wii U to the absolute best Mario Kart game of all time. Now, yeah, people are going to disagree with me. I know there is going to be people who disagree with me, but that's fine. That's your own opinion. If you think there's another game that's better, then cool. I'm glad you can find another game that's, I guess, better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But in my opinion, I think this game is just way better than all the others. Now, it doesn't have a fun, interesting side mode like Knockout Tour, no. But it at least has a really good battle mode. And my main thing is it actually feels like Mario Kart. You're driving on a track traditionally. You're not doing these random intermissions and stuff like Mario Kart World did. Like, it actually feels like Mario Kart. And with all the updates we got with the characters and stuff, this is easily the best roster of characters out of any Mario Kart game. It also has the gliders, the anti-gravity, driving underwater, and they added half pipes back. What other Mario Kart game besides Tour has all? Not even Tour has all these because they don't have anti-gravity. Like, man, they really did put a lot into this game, which is just so cool. There is a lot of things to do. Nothing else I really have to say. In my opinion, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still, and probably will be, the best Mario Kart game of all time. Now, if they update World, make it more playable, update some of those things that I was talking about, then maybe that game will be the best, but as of now, I think Mario Kart Deluxe does the Mario Kart game the best. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. So, have a good day.